how's it going, movie fans? Welcome back to another review on the channel. Today we're looking at, finally, I'm very excited to say that we are looking at Spiral from the Book of Saw, which came out in 2021, originally scheduled to release in 2020, after being filmed in 2019 pre-pandemic. This is the first film on the channel, I believe, that we're reviewing that is a pre-pandemic film that got pushed to post-pandemic or during pandemic. So that's an interesting concept for the channel. But again, came out in 2021, very recently actually, and is starring, is directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, series veteran Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed Saws 1 through 3, and also stars Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson, Marissa Nichols, and Max Minghella. Now, Spiral from the Book of Saw is just a triumph of a Saw film. It's, to me, it's on par. It's my second favourite Saw film. Out of all of the Saw films, it's my second favourite Saw film. I think it's just... and I do like the more heavy focus on story opposed to gore here. There is gore here. And I was just saying to myself that I feel like this one is, gore-wise at least, in some parts, on par with the first one. Not obviously not I say gore-wise on par. What I mean is that it's not a gorno like 2 through 7 and Jigsaw are. It's more story focused, with the gore being there as well. And I feel like, sure, with the first one there is barely any gore. What I'm trying to get on is both of them are, you know, films that have less gore and more story, opposed to their future sequels. Not as much as Spiral yet, but you know what I'm trying to say. Have less gore. So yeah, that just makes it just. But yeah, it just adds to the movies. I've seen the opening for this movie so many times. Like I said before, my previous reviews, I usually have this movie, because I have a way to watch it. I usually have this movie just on the back when I'm editing movies like this, or when I'm reviews like this and stuff. So that helps. But I think Chris Rock's performance here is really what I think everyone gives a stellar performance. Samuel L. Jackson is barely in the movie, but he still gives a very, I think, best performance here has to go to your boy Chris Rock. I think he's brilliant performance-wise. And I think Max Minghella also gives a fantastic performance here as the side rookie, as Chris Rock's partner. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I do think the ending is very enjoyable, and it feels very Saw-esque. And I like that instead of saying game over, the killer decides to do a throwback to a scene we see in this film, which I think works a lot better, because it's not a direct doing the same thing. Like in Jigsaw, I have the problem with Jigsaw at the end, instead of saying game over, Logan says, I speak for the dead, and then shuts the door. Whereas in Spiral, the killer doesn't say that, or doesn't say anything. He just puts his finger over his lips, which is a reference to something that happened earlier on in the film, while the elevator goes down. That's not a spoiler. The elevator goes down at the end of the movie. I'm just saying, an elevator goes down, which I like. That's really cool. I think that's a nice way of not saying. I was hoping there was going to be a game over at the end of this film, but I'm okay with the way it went in that respect. What I'm not okay with is that the big twist of this movie didn't have the famous Hello Zep piece over it. And I think but I can, with this point I'm trying to make here, I can also see why it was done like that, and because of how the ending was constructed and set up. If they had the Hello Zep piece where if they had the Hello Zep piece where the big twist came, it wouldn't mesh properly with the structure of the film. So as much as it's a nitpick, it's also a point I'm just okay with it being like that. That's fine by me. I'm okay with that because of how it's structured, you know. I think we got here this film. We have to talk about music, because it's got a very specific music style, and obviously we have a fantastic score by Charlie Clouse, one of his best scores for the Saw franchise. You know, so many tracks are brilliant. Money Bucket, Wax Angie, I think it's OK You or You OK. The one that has I think it's You OK. Yeah, You OK. Again, great score by Charlie Clouse. I listen to it all the time. I have it, but we've also got to talk about 21 Savage, who I was originally going to have his Spiral song play as the background song for this review, but I feel like that might actually get the video DMCA taken down, blocked worldwide, that's kind of shit. So I went with Zep 9, obviously with the tradition of it being like in the reviews with the Zep being in the background, but yeah, 21 Savage, had a. There's 3 albums really for this Saw movie. The single called Spiral by 21 Savage, the score by Charlie Clouser, and the Spiral from the Book of Saw soundtrack EP by 21 Savage and Slaughter Gang, which contains 4 songs used throughout the film. And interestingly, obviously, you've got the Spiral track, which has, which contains parts of Hello Zep, but you also have another track which I found out. I think it's Down Bad. Don't quote me with that. Hang on. I think it's Down Bad. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not 100% sure. Hang on, bear with me. Yeah, it is Down Bad. It's 100% Down Bad. It's a good song. I very much enjoy the whole. But yeah, Down Bad contains elements of another score piece from Charlie Clouser called Phone Message from Saw 2, which is available on the Saw Anthology. Stream that shit now. But yeah, it contains that, and I like that. I like that there's not just the Hello Zep, there's also another piece. Obviously, it would have been nice to see a piece, a 21 Savage song or a Slaughter Gang song using Baptism from Saw 3 would be really cool. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. It doesn't bother me. I like the EP. It's a great listen. I always listen to it all the time. But yeah, you can't talk about this film without talking about 21 Savage, his involvement, the music he did, the soundtrack, 4 tracks. Obviously, 3 of them actually feature in the actual film, and then the last one, the Spiral song, is actually the end credit song for the movie. So that makes sense. But yeah, I think the traps here. You have the tongue trap, which I call Train Tongue. So tongue trap, train tongue, finger trap, which is otherwise known as Tide Rising. You have the wax trap, which I call wax pipe, wax neck, even I suppose. And then you have the finale trap. I'm not going to say what it is or even describe it because it would give away immediate spoilers. So I'm just going to say the finale trap that involves a few characters. The final, or as the character calls it, the final test. So I'm going to call it final test in this game. So there isn't as many traps as the other ones, but when the traps do come up, they are quite gory. To an extent, not as gory as some of the other ones, but also like are more intense than the other ones. It's really confusing, but I think again, Chris Rock gives an absolutely stellar performance with this movie. He's absolutely brilliant. I think it continues. His performance is absolutely fantastic here. I have to admit, he's one of my favourite parts of this movie. He's a brilliant actor. But in general, my opinion of this film is what it does very well is continue the Saw legacy without dwelling on the past too much. There's enough little references. I mean, there could be a few more here and there. From what I've seen, I've seen the film 3 times. I haven't spotted everything, but I've spotted a few. There's a picture of Cecil from Saw 2 on the wall, and there's a picture of John Kramer, and that's really about it for proper Saw references. Maybe there's others. I can't wait for CZ as well to drop his video, things you missed in Spiral from the Book of Saw. I can't wait for that video to drop. I'll definitely be checking that out and seeing what else I missed. But yeah, I just think the movie is really fantastic. It's a credit to how Darren Bousman really, the frantic editing of Darren Bousman is back in full force, and I love that. But it's also not over the top as it was in the other ones. It's there, but it's not over the top. I think it is just a fantastic film, and I just cannot tell you how worthwhile it is to actually go and watch the movie. It's really brilliant. It's really fun. And I highly recommend, checking it out. But it's not for the faint of heart at the same time. It's a fantastic movie. Everyone involved did a great job. Chris Ramsey's little cameo was brilliantly funny. Again, it's just a movie that I would recommend for everyone to watch, and builds and builds itself on top of each layer to make a more convincing story. And the story is fantastic. It's a very well, there's like a single scene that you see happen in the movie about 3 different times of someone of a character doing a thing, and each time you see it, you learn a new piece of information about it. And I kind of like that as a concept. It's a really, you sort of, each time you see it, you learn more about, you almost zoom out a little bit more of the scene, you learn something more about it, and that's really a cool concept, and I hope that they use that concept and bring it in to a bit more of the actual, later on down the line in the other films. And I think it's just a well done concept. The only thing I have to say really is that Samuel L. Jackson needed more screen time, but I can understand why, for character reasons, as to why that was done like that. But yeah, it is a fantastic film to watch. It's only an hour and a half long, so it's not going to take too much of the time up. It didn't take too much of mine up. I heavily enjoyed the movie. It is, if you check my Saw Ranked video, that's now been updated to contain Spiral, will be my number 2 Saw movie. I love the name as well, Spiral from the Book of Saw. It's just a really cool name. It is just a movie where it's just fantastic, really. I mean, the performances are off the chart, the music is fantastic, the twist is very, very, very good. Or unfortunately, I knew the twist before I saw the movie, but which in fairness also sort of did me a favour, because then I could spot when that character was doing certain things and telling and nods to the audience, which I'm not going to say what it was or any of that stuff, but it helped me, spot them doing certain things that proved, that sort of almost saying it flat out to another character's face without actually saying it to their face, which is what is a Saw trait at this point. And again, fantastic movie, fantastic cast, highly recommend it. Darren Lynn Bousman, one of my favourite directors of all time. It's just a brilliant movie, and I recommend it for everyone to go and check out. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is concluding this week's set of reviews. I have this scheduled up for next week's on Friday. I'll tease one movie on the Wednesday. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to check out all the other stuff. I'm so happy to finally have a Spiral review on the channel. Do come out and check my streams. I basically play Roblox now. We'll play some other games soon, but it's basically Roblox. Yeah, Spiral from the Book of Saw is out in all cinemas across the UK and across America now, across the planet. So go check the movie out. Go check the score out. The score by Charlie Klaus is streaming on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music. The EP by 21 Savage is also streaming everywhere you get music, Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, and so is the single. So go check all that lovely stuff out. If you can't find the stuff, or you use Spotify and you want to have it all the music from the film in one place, I have a dedicated playlist. Go click the link tree, click my Spotify profile. It'll be the first playlist called Spiral from the Book of Saw, complete music from the motion picture. That contains every single track, the EP, the score, and then the single is put at the end of that playlist because it was put at the end of the film. So that just helps it flow. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to check out the other videos, and bye bye for now.